I sound like a broken record, man, but I'll say it again. The best thing about YouTube, my channel, is you guys. You guys teach me, you guys support me, you guys literally point me in the right direction. A lot of you guys are better than me, straight up. Like, you guys have more experience. And so you guys tell me detailed, advice on what I need to do. Some of the things that I heard last night was really great. One of you guys said to me, you're doing a conventional stance. You're doing a conventional pull with a wide stance. And I thought, well, hold on a minute. I thought sumo means when your legs are outside of your hands. So anytime your legs are wider than your hand placement on the bar, that's sumo. Apparently not. Sumo basically means that you are vertical in your pull and you're pushing your knees out and you basically are leg pressing the thing up off the floor. So you could do sumo properly, or you can do a conventional wide stance. So what I did yesterday was basically a conventional pull because I was held over in a really wide stance. So I thought to myself, okay, so that's not exactly what I'm trying to do. Although I was, in yesterday's video, I kind of explained, I was really chasing that kind of high hamstring insertion into kind of the pelvis region. That's what I was kind of searching for. But anyway, today I came in and I was like, all right, let's implement some of the ideas that you guys just kind of talked about. Still, watching this footage right now, I'm like, man, the knees are still kind of in. I have a lot of trouble pushing the knees out. That's probably because the adductors are really tight. But still, if you compare yesterday's video and today's video, it's worlds apart. I'm much more vertical than yesterday, so a bit of improvement there. You guys also mentioned that, the adductors are the limiting factor for a lot of people. So there's a whole flexibility, mobility issue here as well. So I ended up doing 10 sets of 10 of that. Lightweight, 70 kilos, you saw the weight, not very heavy, just to basically practice the movement and get a bit of, blood into that area. And now I know that the problem with my hip is not a TFL, it's not the vastus lateralis, it's not the ITB band, it's nothing like that. It is either the adductor or the hamstring. It's really hard. I almost feel like it's the adductor, because when I do the sumo pulls, I literally feel that sensation in my hip, but good. It's almost like I'm working it out. So I think there's something to that. And then I went to squats, and as I said many times before, every time you feel unwell in any of your joints, take the bar and do it for a set of 50. Blood, 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 reps, reps, reps. Go away from tension and go towards a pump. Heavy weight is a lot of tension on your system, and if your joints are hurting, it's going to hurt more. I kind of thought about that as well. So right now I'm in a stage where I can't be pushing a whole lot of weight if I'm not really warmed up and my muscles are fully pumped up. So I took this bar for 50. Obviously it's really, really light. I could do any sort of form with this, which is one of the criticisms of super high reps, is those reps are not really taking the same path as, if you had heavy weight. With heavy weight, man, there's only one way to go up and down. If you deviate from that, you fall apart and your form goes to shit, and then you get injured and blah, blah, blah. You can't lift as much weight. But with this type of work, all these reps, is just all about pumping the blood into the system, and my legs were really pumped. So I was feeling it in the quads and the glutes big time. Not so much in the adductors. It was all kind of in those two areas. So I did 50 with bar, then I went to 60 kilos, I did that for 30. Once again, a lot of volume. My hip right now feels really good. I still feel kind of a bit of a discomfort in the outer portion. But when I put my fingers kind of in the upper hamstring area, I feel like that is exactly the spot that's causing it. And with the sumo, I feel like that is exactly what I need. And you'll see later in the video, you guys also recommended walking lunges. Now, I've done very, very few experiments with single leg work. Last time I did it was when I lived in the previous house. I did it with weight. So I was using the bar with some 40 kilos, 40 kilo weight. I think I went up to 60 kilos. That is very, very heavy, and that's not recommended if you're dealing with something that's hurting you. So if your joint is hurting, it doesn't really matter how you do it, single leg or bilateral leg, doesn't really matter. Weight's weight. If you're trying to feel better and you're trying to bring up some weaknesses, go for high reps. So today I ended up doing 3 sets of 50 steps, so 25 steps each leg. and that absolutely pumped me up. Right now, like I literally feel where my gluteus medius is located on my body. When I'm walking around, it's there. There's no doubt about that. In fact, the last set of the walking lunges, I was actually feeling the glute med actually cramp up on me, which basically tells me that that is a weak point of my body. Simple as that. A lot of you guys have said that, you know, your TFL, that area, even though I don't think it's my TFL, is basically taken over because your glute med is really weak. Of course, it's going to be weak because I never do any single leg activity. In fact, I don't even run. You know, back in the day when I played basketball, you spent more time on one leg than two legs, really. You know, you're always running, you know, you're always kind of moving. But now it's all I ever do is squat and deadlift, and it's always, you know, in one plane. I'm never doing any other planes. It's always one plane. So a couple of things happening here. I'm doing sumos, really wide stance. I'm doing high rep squats, and I'm doing lunges. So I know usually I like to kind of introduce one thing at a time, so I know exactly what that one thing is doing, so I can kind of pinpoint exactly what exercise is doing for me. But right now I'm at a stage where, you know, a lot of time has gone by with me kind of just beating around the bush. I really want to sort this thing out. So I feel like I'll just throw 50 exercises at this thing. I want to sort it out as quickly as possible. Because, you know, I also made a promise that I wasn't going to do any upper body movements at all until I hit a squat PR. Well, it's been basically 3 months now since I've done any upper body stuff. That's too long, man. I really want to get back to it. In fact, yesterday I was with the kids at the park, and you know, we were messing around, and I did a set of 12 dead hang pull-ups, which is the first time I did anything like this in a while. So I'm quite happy that I haven't completely deteriorated my strength in the upper body. Still, I can get 12 dead hang pull-ups, which is not too far away from my best. Anyway, so here's 180 kilos on the bar. Yesterday I bailed on this because I was really kind of skeptical about my hips. But let's see how it went here. Not bad, really, not bad. 10 set to 10 sumo. Yesterday was really crazy. Today felt a lot better. This is why I said to the cameraman, let's go to the park and do some lunges. So here it is, man. So I ended up doing lunges like this. I know you can do really kind of like long steps. This kind of feels good for me. Like I said, I ended up doing 50 all up every set, so 25 each leg. And man, is it a good thing to get outside sometimes and train, man. One of the biggest things that I hated about gyms is the air conditioner, the recycled air, the sweat, and some of them have freaking carpet there. It's just stuffy as hell. One of the biggest things I love about training in the garage is you open up that freaking roller door, you get fresh air, you go outside and do this sort of stuff. It's just nothing beats it. Today is 25 degrees Celsius, beautiful sunny day. Went to the park, walking. I love it. This is exactly what I love about training, especially on a beautiful day like this, man. I mean, look at this, man. It just looks epic. It was beautiful, you know, to get out and do this. But yeah, as I said, man, the glute medius, man, got absolutely fried here. Quads as well, man. If you're thinking about doing quads, man, I don't think I'll go back to leg extensions anytime soon. Man, this was crazy, man. Whew. So basically, you're getting glute med, you're getting quads, and I wonder if the adductors are working here as well. They probably are, but it's not as loaded as it is with the sumo. So, like, this is a really good exercise. I think I'm gonna replace leg extensions with this. The pump was crazy. I know it's a lot of reps, 50 reps, but it gives me an excuse to get outside as well. So today I did sumo, I did squats, and I did lunges. The exercise that I didn't do is the calf raises. So this is now the second day I haven't done calf raises, and the glute ham developer, back raises. So I think I'm gonna go lunges one day, GHD the next day, with some calf raises. So I still want to work on my calves. I think there's a spot for it. Dorsiflexion is a real thing. It needs to get worked. Base is your base. You know, your hips are good and stuff, and it should be the primary focus of your training. But I think it's worthwhile working on those foot arches and the muscles in your feet. Because if you're collapsing your feet, what's your hip gonna do? It's gonna have to follow. You know, it's really hard to freaking push your knees out when you have flat feet and everything's collapsing inwards. So yeah, I know. You know, the evolution of my journey is kind of like bouncing around all the time. But as I said to you, like I cannot stick with a program because I'm reactive. I'm completely reactive, and I completely auto-regulate my training. So if I come in here and the hip is feeling bad, I'm not doing 5 sets of 5 at 80%. It's not happening, man. My body's telling me that something is going on and I have to address it. You ignoring that is going to lead you to Snap City. It's simple as that. So, you know, a few days ago, TFL, hip pain. I'm gonna stop calling it hip TFL pain. It's really hip pain. It happened, and so what do I do then? Like, do I just continue over my merry way, or do I just address it? You address it. You look for solutions. One of the solutions was, you know, do sumos. Another solution was do, you know, wide stands, back raises. Another solution is lunges. So you keep going until you can address that issue, so you can push with might, with the bar on your back and you squat. You can't build, you can't work properly towards your goal if you're imbalanced and there's things hurting. You gotta address the issues. You address the weaknesses before you can build. So I feel like this is what I'm doing right now, and it feels good. Like I've said this a number of times to you guys, man. Like, there's no ego with me, man. Like I don't feel like, oh, I have to squat 210 kilos by next week. Nah, man. I'm not like that. One of the good things about, you know, I guess the majority of us is that we're not really paid for this, man. Like, you know, we just do this as a hobby. Like, there's no team, there's no sponsorships, there's no nothing. No one's telling me I got to do it, man. Something the professional athletes don't have the luxury of. You know, you're getting paid millions of dollars to freaking play. You got to play. You know, so we don't have those pressures. So we can, you know, we can take the smarter way out around this and do it the smart way, I guess, and not hurt ourselves. All right, guys, a bit longer video today, but I hope you got something out of this, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.